Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to master the single leg RDL.
Get up and get down, get up and get.
Hey guys, thanks so much for stopping by the YouTube channel. Today's video is all about the single leg RDL movement. We're going to go over how to master technique and some of the finer points that a lot of people don't think of that can really help you improve your technique, improve your performance, and the amount of weight that you're lifting. So first off, let's talk about from the ground up, your starting position. So he's going to get into left leg stance, kick his right leg back just a little bit. Now, to start off from the ground up, we're thinking about a stable foot. So he's gonna have his weight evenly distributed across his big toe, the base of his fifth toe, and his heel. This is a tripod foot. And the reason that a single leg RDL is such a great exercise is because it teaches you proper foot stability and the coordination through the rest of the body. So it primes that coordination and stability that is going to carry over to so many other lifts. Basically teaches you that proper rooting into the ground. Now from this position, he's then going to kick his leg back as he drops down into the single leg. He's going to maintain just a slight bit of knee flexion. Again, we're not squatting, so squat that down so people can see. We're not squatting with this. This is a hinging motion. So we come back up and come all the way back to the start. He's going to start with a slight bit of knee flexion, and as he goes down, he's going to move primarily about his hips. So as you go down, small knee flexion, mostly movement about the hips. Now, let's talk next about, we talked about foot, let's talk about pelvis. As you perform this motion, you want that pelvis to stay level. So let's come back up. Now go down and let that pelvis tip up. So this is the common fault that you'll see a lot of people. And what this is doing is your body is spinning off because you're not creating optimal stability through your lateral hip on this side. Come all the way back up. A lot of people, when we think lateral hip muscles, we think of the glute medius. That's one of the most important and often underutilized muscles of the hip. Not only does the glute medius control for rotation of the femur, but it also controls for the pelvis, whether or not it is staying level. And this glute medius has to work with this side QL, one of the muscles of your low back, to balance everything out when you're in single leg. So as you're walking, in order to maintain single leg stance, a level pelvis so that your leg can swing through, these muscles have to work together in proper coordination. So this exercise is something that enhances even your ability to walk with optimal mechanics. Obviously, that's going to turn over into running and a lot of other more loaded movements. So let's go back down and show that problem one more time. And let's talk about just a quick fix for that. As he goes down, if his pelvis tips up, the only cue I'm going to give him, look at his back foot where it's pointed. It's pointed out to the side. I'm gonna have him just turn his toes down. And as you can see, that completely flattens out his pelvis. So come back up and do that one more time with your toe pointing down the whole time. With that cue, it's teaching him how to maintain that level pelvis. Obviously, just a little bit of movement up here is okay. But what we're looking for is to avoid those extremes of that unstable pelvis. Come back down. Okay, so that is one of the other common faults we see. Now, another thing that I see with the single leg RDL is the inability to maintain that completely extended free leg. So I'm gonna have Ed perform this fault. Often what we see is the leg remains bent. So there's this disconnection where the chest drops forward and this leg just sort of lags behind and it remains like this. This is often because people are thinking so much about their stance leg and they completely forget about this free leg. This is an extremely important part to the movement as a whole. And here's why. If you're at home doing this, just perform it. Grab something around your house. If you're in the gym, grab something light and perform a single leg RDL with your knee bent. Come back up and then completely lock it out. Starting from the glute, so you're staying here, completely lock that out and then go down, maintaining that same straight line the entire time. And you're gonna notice something very key. Go back down, try this one more time. So lock that leg out. From the glute, he's going to then, in a straight line, we have a complete straight line all the way down. Doing this lights up your stance leg posterior chain. You will feel more glute and hamstring connection and fatigue when performing this by straightening out your free leg. That's exactly what we're doing this for, because we're trying to enhance our strength of the stance leg posterior chain. That's the reason we're doing the loaded movement right here. Now, a cue that you can give yourself if you struggle with that connection is to perform this with a band wrapped around the foot all the way up to the shoulder. So he's going to step on the band, and this does not need to be a heavy band, and it's gonna go all the way up into the shoulder. Now, straight off the bat, I've heard a lot of people see this setup and they go, uh-oh, he better watch out. If that thing snaps up, he's gonna hit himself right in a bad area. I've been using this for years, and I have not once seen this happen. So this is a very safe exercise to perform for all my guys out there. What he is doing is giving himself a little tactile feedback, a little cueing to react and maintain that straight, ideal plane of motion that we're looking for. So let's turn it to the side just a little bit and perform this motion. Your cue is to keep tension on the band the entire time. And you can see by just that simple cue, he's able to maintain that ideal position we want the entire time. If he drops his knee, so bend your knee, you're gonna feel, or there you go, you're gonna feel that tension release in the stance leg. So this is a great way to create more of a sensory rich environment to allow you to perform the lift to its greatest optimal technique potential.
Here's an example of one of my patients doing this exercise in clinic. You can see he's not doing a great job of extending that free leg, and as he gets close to the bottom, he ends up bending more with his back and loses that ideal stability connection. We use that band for cueing, and instantly you can see here, he's able to be more connected, and he reported feeling his hamstring and his posterior chain, glutes as well, of his stance leg much more during the single leg RDL during the next couple movements.
So that is everything from the stance leg all the way up. The last thing that I commonly see performed incorrectly with the single leg RDL is reaching forward. So I'm gonna have Ed, again, give you a visual of this incorrectly. As he goes down, he's reaching with the barbell way out in front. Come back up. The idea behind the single leg RDL is that we're trying to mimic as much as possible our double leg RDL, which is then going to turn into our deadlift, basically any loaded carry. We don't want to be way out in front. We want to maintain that same bar path that we would have with the barbell. So we're going to keep this nice and close. It's going to trace just as if he had a barbell nice and close to his body and then back up. That's exactly what we're looking for with the single leg RDL. And the very last thing I want you guys to understand is that this movement is to be performed very slowly. And in doing so, you're going to feel for any side-to-side differences you may have in coordination, stability, and your ability to maintain movement competency. Basically, one side may look good and the other side looks like crap. This will expose it. And in doing so, you can use this as a corrective, loaded corrective exercise to clean up those problems that often go unseen in your basic double leg, double arm, loaded movements of your squat, your clean, your deadlift, your snatch. This exposes those problems and allows you to clean them up so that you can have better movement and quality of control of movement in your regular main lifts. So that's why I love the single leg RDL. It is a great assistant exercise that not only allows us to continue to load ourselves in single leg, but also acts as a corrective exercise because it's self-limiting and it exposes those problems so we can fix them in the end. We don't always have to go back to bodyweight movements. This is a great loaded assisted exercise as well. So I'd highly recommend adding these into your programs. Usually with something like this, I'm doing sets of 8 to 10 and progress up in weight. This is something you don't have to stay light. You can move this up and become heavier and heavier with it, and it's gonna continue to pay off. So hope you guys liked today's video on the single leg RDL movement technique, showing some of the common faults. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Again, thank you so much for checking out all the videos I have on YouTube. If you would please subscribe to my channel, it would mean so much to me. Share this video with your friends and family. And until next time, guys, happy squatting.
They say that energy flows where attention goes, so I pay no mind. Why waste my time with all these negative cats scratching? So caught up in their egos, these people have lost.